Bertholdt Hoover. Bertholdt Hoover was the first true Colossal Titan shifter introduced in Attack on Titan, and his transformation established the Colossal Titan as a unique class distinct from all other Titan shifters. His Colossal Titan stands 60 meters tall, exceeding the height of the Wall Titans and possessing full human intelligence and tactical awareness. This combination of scale and control makes it one of the most dangerous Titans ever deployed. Bertolt's Colossal Titan is defined by its extreme heat and steam emission. Unlike normal Titans, which emit steam only during regeneration or death, Bertolt can deliberately burn his own muscle tissue to release pressurized steam on command. This steam functions as both defense and offense, creating a superheated barrier that repels soldiers, melts equipment, and prevents direct attacks on the nape. The longer the steam output continues, the more muscle mass the Titan sacrifices, gradually reducing its physical form. Another defining trait of Bertolt's Colossal Titan is its transformational explosion. When transforming with full intent, the Colossal Titan releases a blast comparable to a large-scale bomb, generating shockwaves, fire, and widespread destruction. This ability was used to devastating effect during the breach of Wall Maria and later in Shiganshina, where entire districts were obliterated instantly. Crucially, the intensity of this explosion is user-controlled, allowing the shifter to choose between a destructive detonation or a more restrained transformation. Despite its overwhelming power, the Colossal Titan has critical limitations. Its immense size makes it extremely slow, leaving it vulnerable to coordinated attacks if steam emission is not maintained. It also cannot perform consecutive transformations, meaning once it expends its power, the user is left defenseless for an extended period. This weakness directly led to Bertolt's defeat, as he was unable to retransform when captured and subsequently devoured. Bertolt also demonstrated partial transformations, most notably manifesting only the upper portion of the Colossal Titan. This allowed him to retain mobility and avoid full commitment while still accessing steam output and raw power. This partial manifestation further proves that the Colossal Titan is not just a blunt instrument, but a highly technical and flexible weapon when mastered. Armin. Armin inherited the Colossal Titan after consuming Bertholdt Hoover, becoming the second known wielder of this power. While the Titan's core abilities remained the same, Armin's usage demonstrated how drastically the Colossal Titan's impact depends on intent, control, and strategic deployment rather than brute force alone. Armin's Colossal Titan maintains the standard 60-meter height, skinless muscular structure, and immense heat output characteristic of the form. However, his most defining moment came during the Marley invasion, where he intentionally triggered a maximum yield transformation explosion. The resulting blast completely annihilated an entire fleet, vaporizing warships and its surroundings in seconds. This event confirmed that the Colossal Titan's transformation explosion is one of the single most destructive attacks in the series, rivaling weapons of mass destruction. Unlike Bertolt, Armin rarely relies on sustained combat while in Titan form. This is partly due to the Colossal Titan's rapid energy consumption, but also due to Armin's psychological burden. The Titan's heat and steam emissions remain available, yet prolonged use would cause massive collateral damage, making it unsuitable for precision engagements. As a result, Armin primarily uses the Colossal Titan as a strategic deterrent and one-time decisive strike rather than a frontline combatant. A notable anatomical difference in Armin's Colossal Titan is the absence of external ears. This deviation from previous designs reflects the founding Titan's ability to subtly alter Titan physiology, and is widely interpreted as a manifestation of Armin's subconscious desire to distance himself from the screams and destruction caused by his power. While this alteration does not affect combat performance, it highlights how a Titan's form can reflect the psychology of its wielder. Despite possessing one of the strongest Titans in existence, Armin consistently avoids unnecessary transformation. This restraint emphasizes a core truth about the Colossal Titan. Its greatest strength lies not in repeated use, but in the threat of its activation. The knowledge that Armin can erase entire battlefields with a single transformation fundamentally alters enemy strategy, even when the Titan is never deployed. Eren Yeager. Eren Yeager is the only character to manifest a Colossal Titan without inheriting the Colossal Titan itself. This form appears during the final battle and is created entirely through the power of the founding Titan, making it a temporary construct rather than a true Titan shifter inheritance. Eren's Colossal Titan is roughly 60 meters tall, comparable in size to Bertolt and Armin's, but differs in appearance. Unlike the traditional skinless Colossal Titan, Eren's version has a more complete humanoid structure, including visible facial features and hair, showing that the founding Titan can generate new Titan bodies without following standard inheritance rules. This form is designed for direct physical combat rather than mass destruction. Instead of relying on steam emission or a transformation explosion, Eren engages Armin's Colossal Titan in sustained hand-to-hand combat, the only time two colossal-scale Titans fight this way in the series. The transformation produces no large-scale explosion, indicating that this Colossal was created for stability and control. Once Eren loses access to the founding Titan's power, the form collapses and cannot be passed on, proving the Colossal Titan is not exclusively an inherited ability, but a form that can be recreated through absolute control of the paths. Ancient Colossal Titan. The final Colossal Titan shown in the series appears during the activation of the paths and represents an ancient Colossal Titan from early Eldian history. This Titan is not named and is not tied to any known modern character. It manifests briefly among the past Titan forms summoned through the founding Titan's power, confirming that the Colossal Titan has existed in multiple eras long before the modern timeline. Visually, the ancient Colossal Titan closely resembles Bertholdt Hoover's version, featuring exposed musculature, a skinless body, and a proportionally massive ribcage and neck. Unlike Eren's customized colossal form, this ancient version follows the classical colossal design, suggesting that the original blueprint of the Colossal Titan prioritized raw size and heat generation rather than adaptability or hardened combat features. This Titan's appearance confirms that the Colossal Titan is not a modern invention, nor a derivative of the Wall Titans. Instead, it establishes the Colossal as one of the earliest high-output Titan forms created after Ymir Fritz's power was divided. Its presence implies that earlier Eldian conflicts already involved city-level destruction long before the walls were ever constructed. Because the Titan appears only as a summoned construct within the paths, it does not demonstrate active abilities such as steam discharge or explosive transformation. However, its inclusion alongside other ancient Titan shifters confirms that the Colossal Titan's defining traits, extreme height, exposed musculature, and overwhelming heat, have remained consistent across centuries, reinforcing the idea that the Colossal Titan is a fixed archetype rather than an evolving form. Wall Titans. The Wall Titans are the earliest and most numerous Colossal-type Titans shown in Attack on Titan. Each Wall Titan stands approximately 60 meters tall, but only around 50 meters of their bodies are visible above ground, with their feet buried deep beneath the earth to serve as the physical foundation of the walls themselves. This buried structure explains why the walls remained stable for a century, and why early measurements underestimated their true size. Unlike the true Colossal Titan shifter, Wall Titans are pure Titans, meaning they possess no human consciousness, no individuality, and no capacity for independent decision-making. They were created roughly 100 years before the start of the series by King Karl Fritz using the power of the founding Titan. Their sole purpose was structural and deterrent, to form Walls Maria, Rose, and Sheena, and to act as a hidden threat against the outside world. Anatomically, Wall Titans closely resemble the Colossal Titan shifter. They lack skin, exposing muscle fibers across the entire body, and emit constant heat and steam. However, they differ in function and capability. Wall Titans remain completely immobile unless exposed to sunlight or commanded by the founding Titan. This explains the panic when one Wall Titan's face was briefly exposed during repairs, as direct sunlight could have activated it and caused uncontrolled movement. During the rumbling, these Wall Titans demonstrated their full destructive capability. Once unsealed and commanded, they marched in coordinated formation across continents, generating extreme heat, seismic shockwaves, and environmental devastation simply through movement. Despite their resemblance to the Colossal Titan shifter, they cannot perform explosive transformations, lack steam control as a weapon, and exist purely as mass-produced instruments of annihilation.